The perfect NFL draft pick from 2025, Colston Loveland for Ben Johnson's Chicago Bears. Why did the Bears open the Ben Johnson era by drafting a tight end at 10th overall, despite already having a veteran on the roster? Let's look at exactly why Loveland's skill set as a do-everything tight end was the perfect selection for Johnson's offense, and in my opinion, has made him the X factor for Chicago's current run. I'll be joined by our senior writer covering the Bears, Kevin Fishbain, to discuss Loveland's special skill set as a big receiver, his reliability in traffic, and his ability to erase mistakes for the quarterback. Let's start by looking at Loveland's versatility as a receiver. All right, here we see the Bears lined up in an empty formation, okay? And this is really kind of a secret to Ben Johnson's offense and how it works. When they broke the huddle, this is 12 personnel. We can see two tight ends on the field, a running back on the field, and they just spread out into an empty formation. It looks like a spread formation, but when they leave the huddle, the defense doesn't sub. They keep the three linebackers on the field, as we see right here, to go against two tight ends, as this could come down into something else. So the variations on a theme is what Ben Johnson's offense is all about. And to have an X factor is really what makes the whole thing sing. In Detroit, he had Sam Laporta. In Chicago, he has Colston Loveland. And really, they're very similar football players in that they're 6'6", 250, 240-pound wide receivers. A big slot. He's basically an X right there. As we see the explosion off the release, huge target for the quarterback, throws his hands at the ball, and this is just an easy catch and run. You never have to take him off the field. He can line up anywhere, and he's super, super dangerous, exactly like Laporta is for the Lions. Let's bring Kevin in for more on Loveland's ability as a receiver. Okay, Kevin, so Colston Loveland was easily one of my favorite picks of the draft last spring. What's Ben Johnson and the staff sort of said about Colston's versatility as a receiver and his ability to sort of open that offense up?
Yeah, they've talked a lot about Michigan's offense, and they knew that it would be an easy transition for Loveland because they run a lot of pro-style stuff up there, as you know, in Ann Arbor. And one of the things about Loveland is he's really smart. And that's something that we heard from coaches over and over again, that he was going to be able to pick this stuff up quickly because, Nick, the tight end position for rookies, we hear all the time, is the hardest to learn because of all the responsibilities. They felt really good about that, even though he missed a lot of the preseason because he was coming off that injury. But, I had a coach on another team after the draft tell me that he almost looked at Loveland like a big slot receiver, which in Ben Johnson's offense, that's an incredibly vital position. And I think that we've seen it over the last 10 weeks, especially, just the versatility and him as being that receiver type guy that can, give you good matchups.
Now, when it comes to physicality as a tight end, Loveland is a pretty good blocker, solid, decent, nothing, elite or anything, but the real special part of his physicality comes at the catch point. Being able to make catches in traffic, playing fearless over the middle, and making the type of catches on throws that keep drives alive. Here we see the Bears in empty again. This time Loveland is in the slot. This time he's working against the corner straight up. This is going to be a press man situation. They can get a first down to set up a first and goal. So a huge play here. He's going to Colston Loveland on a slant. Most people, I think, in the building at this point in the game, Loveland probably has 7 or 8 catches right now late in the fourth quarter, know where this is going. So it's not really a mystery. But I think what we watch here when we let it go is we see the explosion and the ability to work off of a release first, as we see him break into his route and explode off of this cornerback here, Rock Yassin, and then open himself up. And then right here we see this throw is actually going to be on his hip. It's not an accurate throw. He has to reach back, kind of catch it with his body more than his hands. He's got the cornerback all over his back. This is a super difficult throw or catch to make and pull in traffic like this, but he does. And he does this all the time. Running through physicality and being physical and consistent at the catch point is one of the hardest things to do for any receiver, any tight end in football. Only one drop, I believe, so far this season. An excellent, efficient player for a guy this age. Let's go back to Kevin for more on Loveland's toughness at the catch point and why it's so important. His reliability over the middle, his fearlessness over the middle, Kevin. How much has that shown up this season for Colston and the Bears?
Oh, it's been huge, especially because the rest of the team can't hold on to the football at a very high rate. Colston had his first drop of the year. It was a critical moment against San Francisco on that final drive. But up until that point, based on like the true media numbers that we use, he didn't have a single drop. Meanwhile, a lot of the other receivers and running backs were having some issues. And Caleb throws a fastball. That thing's coming out hot. And Loveland has done a really good job finding ways to make sure he brings that ball in. And it's like perfect technique, it seems like, too, when he's going out there snatching with those strong hands. And it's just been a great weapon for them.
To me, Colston Loveland is an eraser, a mistake eraser, and I'll show you what I mean. If a quarterback throws an inaccurate throw, if it's too high, too low, off target, whatever it is, the tight end or the receiver that can adjust on the fly, change his body, contort, go low, go high, whatever it is, that's a mistake eraser. And for a guy like Caleb Williams, who is still sort of erratic with his accuracy, it's not always there, Colston Loveland became his best friend like almost immediately, because this is what he does right there. You see that? He goes low for the ball. This is not a great throw. He's open. The play's designed properly, but we see right here. Look the ball in, all basic stuff, not anything overly complicated, but we see guys have problems with this all the time. Look the ball in, use your hands, and scoop it, finish the catch, touchdown. I don't even know if this was reviewed. If we watch this from the back angle, I think you can see a better view of it here, but you can see the body adjustment. You can see again from the backside where the ball goes low, and he's able to just dive effortlessly into the ground there. This is perfect. He does this stuff all the time, makes it look easy. And for a guy like Caleb Williams, who's still sort of coming together as an accurate quarterback, this guy is worth his weight in gold. Let's check back in with Kevin to hear what coaches and teammates are saying about Loveland's ability as a mistake eraser. How big have you seen sort of the confidence that Caleb has in Colston Loveland based on all the adjustments he can make, kind of like a really good slot receiver?
Yeah, well, Caleb's number one weakness this year has been his accuracy.
Right.
The number is way lower than Ben Johnson wants it to be. It's way lower than what Jared Goff puts up. It's one of the worst in football. And so if the ball's not going to be precise, you need guys like Loveland. I think back, Nick, to the game-winning touchdown against Cincinnati. Yeah, that was not a perfect ball. It was a great throw in the moment. I don't want to take anything away from Caleb, but you needed a guy like Colston to adjust, and then obviously the run after the catch was sensational. It's funny, we got to a point in the press box during that finale where every time it was a critical play, we're like, well, we all know who he's throwing to now.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. He's already at that point with a guy that he really only started getting comfortable with midseason because he had the injury in the preseason. He had another injury earlier in the season, and now it's just like a joke. Like, oh, well, yeah, we know where the ball's going.
We'll see how for real the Bears are in the playoffs, but the offense already has enough talent for Johnson to work his magic. The run game is powerful and consistent. They have playmakers on the edge, a dynamic playmaker at quarterback, but the guy who's threading all this together, making plays in every situation, is rookie tight end Colston Loveland, the perfect pick to start the Ben Johnson era in Chicago.